Review of the Tomorrow War 2021. Plot. The film blends science fiction and action with a premise that immediately grabs attention. In 2022, during the World Cup final, soldiers from the future appear and announce that by 2051, humanity is on the brink of extinction due to an alien invasion. To save the future, they recruit people from the present to fight in the war. The protagonist, Dan Forrester, a former soldier and biology teacher, is drafted and sent to the future. There, he not only faces the aliens, but also uncovers personal revelations connected to his family. Strength. Engaging premise. The idea of recruiting people from the present to fight in a future war is original and generates strong expectations. Large-scale action. The battle scenes against the aliens are intense, with effective use of CGI and special effects. Creature design. The white spikes, aliens, are visually striking, resembling a mix of predators and insects, and they feel like a real threat. Emotional factor. Beyond the action, the film adds an emotional layer by exploring Dan's relationship with his daughter, both in the present and in the future. Weaknesses. Predictable script. Despite the intriguing premise, the story often falls into familiar sci-fi and action cliches. Excessive runtime. At over 2 hours, the film sometimes drags and could have been more concise. Underdeveloped characters. Aside from the protagonist and his daughter, most of the supporting cast lacks depth. Inconsistent tone. The film alternates between intense action, family drama, and even lighthearted comedy, which undermines its seriousness at times. Fun facts about the Tomorrow War 2021. Change of distributor. The film was originally produced by Paramount Pictures, but due to the coronavirus disease 2019 and theater closures, Amazon Studios acquired the distribution rights for about $200 million, releasing it directly on Amazon Prime Video. Director's live-action debut. Chris McKay, best known for directing the Lego Batman movie, 2017, made his live-action feature film debut with The Tomorrow War. Alternate title. During production, the film had the working title, Ghost Draft. This referred to the ghost recruitment of people from the present to fight in the future. Real military training. Chris Pratt and part of the cast underwent intensive training with former military personnel to learn combat tactics, weapon handling, and battlefield movement. Detailed creature design. The alien species, white spikes, were designed by Legacy Effects, a team also responsible for creature and special effects work in films like The Avengers and Jurassic World. Filming locations. While the story spans across different parts of the world, filming took place mainly in Atlanta, USA, and Iceland, which served as the backdrop for the icy future landscapes. Streaming success. The film became one of Amazon Prime Video's biggest releases at the time, racking up millions of views in its first week alone. Lessons from the Tomorrow War 2021. The value of family. At the heart of the story, the protagonist must deal with his relationship with his daughter, both in the present and in the future. The film shows how family bonds can be a powerful motivation, even in the most extreme situations. Sacrifice for the greater good. Many people are drafted to fight in a war that does not even belong to their time. This reinforces the idea that sometimes we must give up our own safety for a greater cause. The weight of choices. Knowing what the future holds can completely change the decisions we make today. The movie suggests that our present actions have a direct impact on what lies ahead. Unity in times of crisis. Even if only lightly touched upon, the film conveys the message that humanity can only overcome great challenges when united against a common enemy. Courage in the face of the unknown. Being thrown into a future devastated by aliens is the ultimate way of leaving one's comfort zone. The story shows that, even in fear, courage can emerge from the most unexpected places. On Rotten Tomatoes, The Tomorrow War 2021 scored around 51 to 53% approval from critics, but the audience was more generous, giving it 76% approval. Now here's our opinion.
The Tomorrow War 2021 was a movie that completely caught me by surprise, a big-budget blockbuster that I only discovered years after its release. It came out during the pandemic, when studios were pushing most films straight to streaming, and since I don't follow streaming platforms very closely, it slipped right past me. I only got around to watching it about 3 years later, and honestly, it was worth the wait. Right from the beginning, the film pulled me in. That scene where the soldiers from the future appear in the middle of a soccer match really hit me. The protagonist turns to his daughter and says, "Look, these are the best in the world." And then we see the Brazilian national team. As someone from Brazil, that gave me a warm feeling. I've watched so many games of our national team, and seeing that little nod felt like a personal tribute. But there's one scene that really bothered me. When the future soldiers are training the present-day recruits, a civilian asks, "What do these creatures look like?" And the soldiers hesitate, saying that if they reveal too much, people will be too scared to fight. Honestly, I thought that was ridiculous. How can anyone prepare for an enemy they know nothing about? Sun Tzu said it best in The Art of War. Know yourself and know your enemy, and you will not fear the result of 100 battles. Hiding what the aliens look like makes no sense. It only puts the recruits at a disadvantage, since the first time they actually see the creatures is on the battlefield. It would have been much more logical and effective to show them exactly what they were up against. As for the aliens themselves, or rather the creatures, I actually found them fascinating. I loved the design. I was expecting something more humanoid, maybe intelligent beings, but instead we got these monstrous, beast-like predators. That choice worked for me. It gave the movie a plague-like quality with creatures that destroy everything in their path and threaten the extinction of all life on Earth. And what made it even more intriguing was the revelation that these monsters weren't the masterminds at all. They were a biological weapon. They were created and deployed by another alien species, likely far more intelligent, to wipe out civilizations. That detail added a whole new layer of horror. Suddenly, their endless hunger and instinct to kill everything made perfect sense. They were designed that way. I loved that twist. On the technical side, the film delivers. The visual effects are excellent, the action sequences are intense, and the performances, especially Chris Pratt in the lead, keep things engaging. There's emotion, sacrifice, and family drama mixed with large-scale sci-fi combat. Still, despite all that, I wouldn't call it a truly memorable film. It doesn't really leave behind iconic scenes or unforgettable moments that stick with you long after it's over. That said, The Tomorrow War is still a very entertaining movie. It delivers exactly what it promises: high-stakes action, a terrifying enemy, emotional stakes about family and sacrifice, and a mix of sci-fi and military thriller elements. It may not be a timeless classic, but it's definitely a fun, worthwhile ride. That's all for now. Session closed. If all goes well, see you in the next video. Until then.